What's going on, guys? Welcome to the 17th episode of the Overcast Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about third-party accessories. They're passing by a little bit here, but I just want to let you guys know that where we're filming, right outside, they're plowing. Pretty big winter storm just rolled through here. So if you hear any scraping in the background, that's what that is, and it's actually pretty loud in here.
Yes, because, Drone District Studio North, we're dealing with winter storms. But we're talking about third-party accessories today, right?
Yeah, and who is never going to make you feel like a third party?
Skywatch AI will never make you feel like a third party with affordable on-demand drone insurance for liability purposes. They also offer full monthly rates at flexible prices, and the more you fly, the more you save.
That's awesome. That's a great feature.
That was a great feature. What I did was I went in reverse. Anyways, they have a application from iOS to Android. All you have to do is click that link in the description below. I'm surprised you haven't clicked it yet. And with as many times as Lon has commented on our previous videos, I'm surprised he hasn't clicked it like 25 times this episode.
He might have.
He may have. But check it out in the link in the description below. Tell him that the Overcast, not Overwatch, Overcast, sent you.
Yep. All right. So again, third-party accessories on your drone. You look at drones. There are so many accessories for them.
There are.
Look, girls. All right.
That's probably a really bad topic.
There's no gender associated. I'm not trying to assume anybody's gender, but look.
Okay.
My viewership on my channel is 97% male. Okay. And I'm sure the other 3% is somehow my girlfriend and my mom watching my videos over and over and over again.
I actually have a lot of female viewers. Hey.
How many is it?
It is right now 12%.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty dang good.
I'm pretty big in the female world.
I must be doing something wrong.
I don't know.
Look, you got 2 kids and their daughters, right? So
I know, but I put you sort of like, I don't know, I speak lady.
Do they watch your videos?
No, they don't, but I speak lady.
Okay. All right. Well, look, there is a ton of accessories out for your drone. Girls like to accessorize. Guys like to accessorize with their drones. It's just a fact. And I don't think you can even get by without having at least one accessory for your drone. I would consider an extra battery an accessory.
Okay.
I'd consider ND filters an accessory. I'd consider
a case
an accessory. I'd consider your drone comes with accessories. It comes with a little gimbal guard holder. So, there's a ton of different accessories for your drone, and there's a ton of different companies selling these accessories. Yes. So today we're talking about, are they safe to use on your drone? Should you use them? Should you purchase accessories from different companies that are not the manufacturer? Because you've got DJI selling ND filters. You've got Autel selling ND filters.
This is a double-edged conversation, and pay close attention to what we're going to say, because we're going to sort of highlight what we feel are things that you should never buy third party. And then there's accessories that neither DJI or any other manufacturer make that you just should totally avoid.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah. Again, there's a ton of accessories. We can't hit them all, but just in general.
The big ones, batteries. Let's start off with batteries. Okay. I think that's the top one.
Yeah. And I think that this is, there's not many third-party batteries for sale, but for the original Mavic Pro, they have batteries for sale where you can buy 2. It comes in a 2-pack for $140.
Do you feel they were safe?
No.
Okay.
First of all, I wouldn't buy them because they're non-genuine. They're not made by DJI.
Right.
I've also heard other people say that they straight up plug in their battery and then they get a little warning in the top left saying that it's not a genuine DJI battery and they won't let them take off. So you just bought a battery and you can't even use it.
It's a brick at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So batteries are just absolutely a no-go.
Yeah, and there's no reason why you should buy a third-party battery. No. The dimensions could be wrong. The battery could come dislodged. I've seen videos of people where the terminals melt. I've seen people where their drones fall out of the sky because they're using third-party batteries. In a previous episode, we talked about the price of drones and whether or not they're too high. And the price of batteries are definitely high, but you're paying for the safety.
Yeah, you are paying for the safety, so it's sort of like a counter argument to what we talked about before. Another thing that I really suggest not really buying, and I know you would think that, oh, this is sort of trivial because what could really go wrong, is third-party props. I've had a lot of problems with third-party props. They aren't balanced properly or they don't fit. I've heard numerous horror stories from people with Phantom 4 Pros that they just sort of fell out of the sky because a prop came off and it was a third-party prop that they were using that wasn't properly fit it to the drone. So lots of scary things. The reviews on them are crazy. I see you're looking at battery reviews.
So in fact, I'm looking right now at the batteries that I'm talking about. They're made Mr. Bat. That's what they're called, Mr. Bat.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, and so you can get a 1-pack of Mavic Pro batteries, so just one Mavic Pro battery, for $57. That's cheaper than what you buy from DJI. And you can get a 2-pack for $112. Again, it's cheaper than what you buy if you want to buy 2 Mavic Pro batteries. This is the original Mavic Pro.
Sure.
And one of the questions I read on here, will this fit in my 2006 Dodge Magnum?
What is wrong with Amazon?
So look, I mean, I see some definitely positive reviews on here, but there's also negative reviews. And if there's negative reviews on like my ND filters, I'll take it with a grain of salt. But if there's people on here, if there's people on here that are saying that these batteries are not genuine, and there's people who are saying that these batteries in particular are causing issues, and this could cause a problem with flight, I would stray away.
So here's the deal: batteries, 100%, just avoid at all costs.
Look, you're going to be saving $15, $16, $17.
It's not worth the cost of your drone.
Yeah, you're going to be out $1,000 drone, potentially more. So,
props, props are sort of a mixed bag. I see people like use triple props and like
carbon fiber
props. For me personally,
have you seen wooden props?
I have, and I don't think props are something you should really like be toying with.
Yeah, no.
Weight and balance is a real deal on takeoff, and
I totally agree. I mean, these props right from DJI, they're made for their drones. They made the drones. They know how to make the propellers. Right. And it's also something to be said, right? If you've got a problem with your drone and DJI finds out that you're using third-party props, third-party batteries, you can bet your butt that they're not going to take care of you.
You're not going to get warranted. So just avoid those two things heavily. Now, some of the things that I've seen that are a little bit obscure and strange, I've seen people selling like extensions for the Mavics, like to extend the landing gear.
Yeah, what do you think about those?
I think it looks stupid as hell.
I think it looks stupid also, but you've got to realize the clearance on those drones. I mean, sometimes I'm taking off on rocks, for example.
I'm taking off from my hand if I have to.
Okay, agreed. But when you go and you put your drone down on the ground to do its initial calibration,
sure,
right? I mean, sometimes the gimbal just calibrating,
you don't want to use a landing pad?
Definitely will never use a landing pad.
All right, how about this? Next time, like we're gonna have a bet, like loser has to use a landing pad. Like that is new deal.
It's way too much for me. I like to kind of make sure I'm flying safely, but also I like to get in the air as fast as possible. And having to take out a landing pad, lay it out, put my drone down, and then when I'm done, pick up the landing pad. It's just a lot for me. And I know it sounds like so stupid to complain about.
Well, it's not stupid. If you have an Evo, you have to launch it from the ground because the gimbal will not calibrate if you're trying to launch it by hand. Well, you know that.
Yeah,
we had that on the boat.
Yeah, I do remember that. And I think that you'll see a general trend throughout this entire episode as we talk about third-party accessories. If you've got an accessory that directly pertains to the flight of your drone, whether it's the battery because it needs power, whether it's the propellers because it needs to be in the air,
right?
Whether it's some sort of internal component. I mean, if it's something that is a necessity for flying, I would go with first-party accessories made by the manufacturer themselves.
Absolutely.
But if we're talking about something that's like a cosmetic, right, then, there's really no issue to use it. Now, on this topic of cosmetics, you brought up a really good point today. People love to customize their drones with skins, right? You can get skins for your phone, customize them. But I personally think that the look of the drone right out of the factory looks the best,
I
right?
agree.
So I wouldn't want to mess with that. But I see a lot of people putting these skins on their drones.
I had a skin on mine for a little bit.
Yeah,
I put this digi camo skin. It looked pretty cool. But then as I was sitting there, I was starting to think about it. I'm like, wait a second. If I have an accident with this drone or I'm flying it as much as I am, how am I inspecting the hull of the drone?
To make sure there's no cracks.
To make sure there's no, stress cracks. You can't do that if you have a skin on there because those cracks are going to be hidden. So I'm really, as of now, I am not a fan of skins.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with that. I think that First of all, they're probably a pain to put on.
They are a big pain to put on.
A pretty long process, but also just the fact that you want to be able to inspect your drone. I mean, if you get a stress fracture underneath your drone, sometimes it's hard to even look at if you've got just your drone. But if you've got something covering that won't be affected by that stress fracture, you're not going to know it's there.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know if it's really worth it because, again, you have a skin. It looks cool on takeoff and landing, but when it's flying,
you all know.
Nobody's gonna know.
All right, here's something. Let's say you're flying a Phantom. It's all white. You're flying during the day, and you've got a black skin. That could potentially help you.
That could potentially help you. I mean,
I'll tell you what. I flew the Phantom forever, and having that white on white was a pain. I hated it.
Yeah, I mean the Mavics are pretty good at like gray. I mean I can see it for the most part. I don't know why. Yesterday with the gray skies. It was really hard to see.
True. No, I agree.
But
again, props no, batteries no. Now we're getting into these third-party accessories. I'd say these skins, I wouldn't do them. I don't think that they're worth it. But as we get into some other accessories like ND filters, I think that no matter what company you get, you're going to be fine. Although I do remember when the original Mavic Pro came out, it had that very delicate gimbal. Some companies like Polar Pro came out and they made ND filters, and the gimbal or the filters were too heavy. The gimbal wouldn't calibrate in the beginning. So literally the first set that Polar Pro sold were too heavy for the gimbal, and people were giving them terrible ratings. So that's something to look out for, but I think that now as drones are becoming more mainstream and these companies are kind of gaining more capital and they understand what they're doing a little bit better.
The products are getting better.
Agreed.
You really can't buy a wrong ND filter today.
No, but now, and here's the thing, right? With that said, why do you need to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on ND filters from the big companies?
You really don't, but there is a difference in glass. I've done some tests on like the cheaper filters, and some of the coatings that they put on there, like for my cameras, when I buy UV filters for my cameras, I buy like my UV filters are like 30, 40, 50 bucks, just a singular filter.
Yeah.
Because the difference in the glass it is different. Like you can get a bad tint. So you have to be careful. Like sometimes you'll look at somebody's footage and be like, man, it's got a really strange tint to it. Well, the ND filter is probably giving it that tint. So I've never had that problem with Polar Pro. I've never had that problem with Freewell or even F-Stop Labs, which I think is basically the same as Freewell.
Yeah, a lot of these Chinese companies will end up being like selling you the same product. They're just branded differently.
Yeah,
I think, in my opinion, right, coming from a looks standpoint, I love to use the DJI made ND filters.
Sure.
Right,
I love them.
Polar Pro filters are great, right? But they're like a gold color, and you put that on your Mavic 2 Pro, and then you've got this clashing color of dark gray, silver, and gold.
Who is going to see that?
Exactly. That's
you
the thing.
are such an aesthetic person.
Here's the thing, though, is if I'm shooting B-roll of my drone, I can't have an ND filter on there because it just sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the first thing that my eye gravitates towards.
I shot B-roll. Are you taking a dig at my B-roll?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, because I did that.
Because I don't watch your videos.
Oh, you're such a dick. Such a dick.
No, but I mean, this is the thing, is like from an aesthetic standpoint, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And if I use something from DJI, I know that's going to be a good quality because they put a UV filter on there for you already.
The zoom filter is nice and they fit well.
Yeah.
And it is silver. I mean, yeah. But I sort of like having that different color because it reminds me, you have an ND filter on there.
That is true.
It's like, okay, I got to change it or at least check what filter I have on there.
Yeah.
So for every qualm, there's like sort of another positive or a pro. What do you think about range extenders? This is something that people look for, and I recently added a range extender to the Evo.
Now here's the thing, right? You add a range extender to your drone, like a mod, voids your warranty.
Well, so it voided the controller warranty.
Okay.
Didn't actually void the drone warranty.
Okay. And some of these drone mods, they actually have you mod the drone itself as well as the remote controller. So then that could void both of them.
Right. You could void both.
Understandable. Now, what do I think of them? I think they're awesome. I think they're great. But I think stemming back to something that we were talking about earlier, LTE connected drones are the future, and I'm convinced fully.
If that happens, I would be stoked because LTE would be amazing.
No need to have range extenders.
That would be amazing
because you've got LTE. I think that for now, though, the range that we've got in relativity to what the battery life is great, because as soon as you get to that max range of the Mavic 2 Pro, you're turning right around. With the Autel Evo, I haven't gotten much time on it, but you said that you now with that range extender get closer to the advertised distance.
I get closer to the advertised distance, but then again, by the time I get there, I would have to get back, and it's just like, again, I preach about I like to fly close to my objects. I like to be within visual sight of my drone while I'm functioning around whatever it is I'm doing. Doesn't matter.
Agreed.
But I think range extenders, if you carefully install it, take the time to understand how to install it, it could be okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to mess up your own controller because you're trying to install it.
There is some of these controllers, you open them up and there's a lot of circuit boards and it's just tedious. Like the Evo was pretty easy to install, wasn't too terribly tedious, but again, like if you're not, crafted or you don't have patience, you can like pull on something because you didn't know that there was a screw or a bolt behind there, and you break your controller. And
sometimes you open up a controller and there's just something in there you're not going to expect.
You sort of have to I guess you sort of have to wauge like whether or not it's worth it for your particular situation. Yeah. I gauged that this was worth it for me to do.
Now here's the other end of the spectrum: those cheap $20 range extenders that you put on the ends, that you put over.
The parabolic filters. Yeah. I'm not really convinced that they work the same way. I'm just really not.
You know what's funny is I purchased a set in hopes of making a video on them with my Phantom 4 Pro. I purchased those about a year and a half ago, and they're still sitting in the box.
No better time.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think that I would recommend them. I haven't used them, so I can't give you guys like a hard answer.
I've used them. I've used them with my P4 Pro when I had it.
You're peeking.
Sorry, I used it with the P4 Pro when I had it.
And do you notice a difference?
No, not a bit of difference with Lightbridge anyways. I didn't notice any difference.
It could be case by case scenario, but I think that it's just one of those things that these accessory companies can make some easy money off of you because they advertise something that's imperative.
And a lot of times, like you look at all these little bundles and stuff, they have all this unnecessary things bundled, and to the unsuspecting or the new drone pilot, they think they have to have everything.
Mm-hmm. Now here's an accessory that I think people might be on the fence about, but I think I'm leaning towards you should get it, is like those Energen chargers that allow you to charge like 5 batteries at once and they all charge at the same time. And like,
I think battery chargers are okay.
Yeah, and I think people always think that they, if you use a third-party charger, that it's going to damage your battery. No. But if you're using a battery from DJI, it's an intelligent battery.
Smart enough to know.
Yeah, it's not going to take in more than it needs. It's not going to overcharge itself. So a third-party charger is fine, whether it's a car charger, whether it's one of those beast Energen chargers. I think that's the company that makes them, that you can charge like 5 batteries at once, including a controller, all at the same time in like an hour.
I've never had a problem with third-party battery chargers per se. Never. Not once, never had a problem. No. I think those are okay.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about cases? I think cases are like hit or miss.
Every time there's a new drone that comes out, I don't know about you, but I get hit up by like
a lot of case companies,
8 different case companies, and I'll only review or look at like a handful of them that I feel are interested.
Yeah, agreed.
But I think cases, they're not all created equal, and I think the problem too is the way they house your drone while the drone is vertical is important. If there's too much movement back and forth, you got to think, if you're in transit or if you're flying on a plane, there's going to be a problem. Like, I didn't know DJI had this bar on theirs. Like, there's like this piece of styrofoam that goes over the Mavic 2.
So it doesn't fall over.
Yeah, so I lost that. I actually damaged a gimbal.
Dang.
On an enterprise unit because I did not put that back on.
Dang.
Didn't know. So, I mean, first party products are good, but I think cases are one of those things. You can buy one, you'll probably be fine.
I agree. You know what? So I've got a GPC case sitting right back there. And another thing that's huge is not only how it protects your stuff, but its use of space.
Yes.
Like, what else can you fit in there other than the drone? How many batteries? How many controllers?
It's all things taking account.
Exactly. Now, here's something that's huge. When you're looking into these accessories, read reviews. You read reviews on which drone you want to buy. Reading reviews on accessories is also huge.
Or better, watch our reviews.
Yeah, watch our reviews on these accessories. But you go through, even as I'm here looking on Amazon at these different reviews.
Relax. You're peeking a little bit.
You look at these different reviews and you can find out which product is the best. And you can see if there's like a budget-friendly option. If this
You got to be careful with Amazon reviews.
True,
you got to be careful with
fake
reviews. I really look for people who review with photos on Amazon.
That's true.
And like really like write paragraphs and novels, because those are the people that really took the time to be critical. Because here's the deal. I'm going to tell you right now, Amazon, once you start buying products, it's, companies see you buy products, they'll try to send you additional products, even if you're not on YouTube. They'll try to get you to give them a false review in exchange for a product.
Yeah, like a positive review, no matter what you think.
Fall for that. Not happening. No.
Yeah, so again, okay, that's a good point. Be wary.
So you gotta be careful.
Be wary of what people are saying, because some of them could be false reviews. But that's why I think it's always good not to get one opinion. You can look on Amazon, you can look on YouTube, you can look on Google, you can look on certain blogs. You can find out what everybody's saying collectively about something specific. And I love to go on there and check out like a $25 set of ND filters and see if they're worth it, see if they're good. Because if you can buy a set of 6 ND filters for $25 and not spend hundreds, that's a win.
That is a win. You know what? Somebody sent me like all these random ND filters. I sent you a photo of them. They're all like test filters. I don't know what the company's name is, but they all seem pretty similar to Polar Pro as far as visual quality and
I remember telling you.
So again, ND filters fine. There's certain accessories like cases are fine. If you can think of something that you would want, you'd probably find something on Amazon that's going to be an accessory.
So here's something, and this is kind of what stemmed this topic. I had this company, they're on Kickstarter, send me this product, and it's like a drone delivery thing, right? So when you've got a drone, like a Mavic, it's built for cinematography, it's built for photography, but there's some people that just have this want to like carry things with their drones and fly them as far as possible.
I don't understand the delivery thing with the Mavic. A Mavic is not a delivery drone.
Exactly. So they built this thing that attaches through Velcro underneath of the drone, and you can put stuff in there and then deliver it with your drone. And the first time I took off with it, my whole entire drone was shaking up and down, and you could just see it, and I ran over and grabbed it out of the air. But there's a lot of great accessories out there, but there's a lot of bad accessories out there.
You just got to sort of take the good with the bad, weed it out, use common sense. Common sense is the biggest key to owning a drone. If you have common sense, you're probably going to be okay. But don't, I guess, stray too far off the path with accessories. Like, use what you need, but don't go looking for something that DJI doesn't sell. If DJI sells something and a manufacturer sells something that's at a lesser cost, sans batteries and props, you can probably be okay with that.
Yeah, and some of these companies, they like to cut corners.
Yeah.
They like to make a case and then say, oh, it's compatible with all these drones.
Yeah, which universal things don't work very well.
Which, like, all right, but I want a case that was built specifically for my Mavic. I don't want a case that fits all these drones, depending on whichever one that you have. Because again, these companies are trying to cut corners. But if you go to DJI or the manufacturer themselves, they sell a case that they made for their product with the best interest in mind for what they think is the best. So as a whole, third-party accessories, right? Can you trust them? I would say you can trust them to a certain extent. Think about it in your mind. If you're going to buy something and that is vital to the flight of your drone and you're buying a third party, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy third-party props. I wouldn't buy third-party batteries. I would buy third-party filters. I would buy the third-party legs, even though you hate them. I think that they can help.
I just don't.
Here's the thing. Opinions aside, I think that they're great. I don't think they're going to affect the flight of your drone.
Have you seen, we're pressed for time, but we'll talk about that another day.
Tell me.
Oh, have you seen like people making the landing gear for the water?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I think that's a bad idea.
Floaties, so you
stay the hell away from landing gear for water for your Mavic.
That's stupid.
Period.
Anyways, I didn't even think about bringing that up.
I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, yes, accessories are good. Batteries don't buy. Props stay
don't
away.
Buy. Yeah, and just again, common sense. Thinking about whether it's vital to the flight of your drone. And let us know what you guys think about third-party accessories. What's like your favorite company? A lot of people have these go-to companies. For me, I just stick to the manufacturer themselves. Whether it's my phone, I'm gonna buy an Apple case from Apple.
You don't use cases.
I don't use cases, but here's the thing: is I want a battery case, and I'll get the Apple one. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the the 17th episode of the Overcast Podcast here on the Drone District channel.
We had a lot of fun making this. I'm tired. He's a slave driver, so.
Well, let us know what you guys think of the Overcast Podcast down in the comment section below, and especially let us know what you think about third-party accessories. And we'll catch you next week, same time, same place.
Quite literally, send help. It's 1:30 a.m. I'm dying. My eyes are red.